Last week I did a closet clean out, so I just sorted through my wardrobe and picked out all the items that I don't wear. Even if I think they are beautiful and if I like the items themselves, I felt like I need to have a kind of clean slate to start the new year. And I put a lot of these items on Vinted. I will link it down below if you want to check it out. I can send packages to Italy, France, Belgium, the Netherlands and Germany. There are really great pieces on there, and with some of them I will shed a tear when they are finally really gone. But I also need to make space for new items because I'm not planning on stopping my thrifting. But as I was already going through all of my clothes, I also picked out all of the items that need some kind of fixing or alterations. So my plan for this week is to fix all of these clothes. I'm also planning on dyeing some of the clothes, but I'm still waiting on the dye to be delivered. I ordered brown and green. Surprise. Who would have thought? Not me, with this nail polish in this sweater. On another note, my symptoms were flaring these past days and I couldn't leave the house for 2 days, which is really annoying because it is super cold outside and I love the cold. I love winter and I couldn't enjoy any of it because I needed to stay in bed and on the couch and I felt miserable. So yeah, the chronic illness is still chronic. What a surprise. I'm feeling better today. I went on a morning walk. I had a shower, which was exciting. So let's get fixing some of my life. supposed to snow for the next few days, so I think we're going to have quite a lot of snow, which was something that I wished for. I'm now working on the whole of the blazer that I thrifted last week, and since it is a pretty big hole, I feel like I am going to cut around it and then put a rectangular patch underneath it with some adhesive, and then use this sashiko stitch technique, which is a Japanese darning method, I think. It will be quite visible, but that is also kind of like the goal. I'm just following the pattern to like find the shape to cut out the least amount of damage, or to cut out the most amount of damage, but like the least amount of undamaged fabric. So I guess that's the shape we're working with now. I should probably cut this so it is in the same direction. So this is the result so far. I tried to do some stitching across, but my thread is really bad and it knots a lot, so I had to pull quite a lot, and then this whole piece just was like pulled together in a weird way. So I think I'm going to leave it like that for now. I think it looks fine, to be honest. I used some kind of cross stitch to just go around the edge, and it feels quite good, but there is also a pocket that needs to be fixed in this jacket, so that's what I'm going to do too. I almost finished repairing all of the items that needed some kind of fixing, like this sweater that I haven't worn in a while because it was unraveling. And that leads me to the topic of knitting, because I do have some plans for 2026. And these plans include getting my stash of wool a bit down. To be clear, I don't have like a massive amount of yarn just lying around, but throughout the last years there was just like a accumulation of leftover yarn from projects that I heavily miscalculated the amounts of yarn I needed, or I unraveled some projects when they didn't turn out as I hoped they would, and I didn't start to make something else out of the yarn. So without explaining too much, I just want to use the yarn that I already have. So I did an inventory of all of the yarn amounts that I have. My initial plan is to use the heavier material first, so I can still get some wear out of them as long as it is still cold. So these next weeks are going to be sweater heavy, I think. And I already started my first sweater, which is this lovely green one. It looks a bit yellow in this light, but it is green, I can promise. This is made out of Drops Daisy. It is a new color, I think. And I gifted this yarn to myself for Christmas. So this doesn't really feel like using my stash, but it is already in my possession, so I have to use it. And also very exciting, I am using a pattern for the first time to make something. So this is the Coming Soon sweater by Paula Strickt, and it is knit in half brioche stitch, and I personally really like knitting in any kind of brioche stitch, but it takes a bit of time because basically you have to do 2 rounds to get 1 row. The reason why I got this pattern was that I, first of all, thought the sweater was really beautiful, and I was interested to see how she does the increases, because I just made my brioche stitch increases up, and I actually learned something because this is made differently than I would have done it, and now I have a new way of doing increases with brioche stitch. Second of all, I was really interested just to see how patterns work, because I haven't really read one before, and I am planning on writing my own at some point, maybe. And I also started a new pair of socks. Yeah, I think I look like a snowman now, or rather a snow woman. And my fabric dye finally arrived yesterday evening, so I think I'm going to dye my clothes now. The items that get a second life in a different color are this button-down shirt. This is vintage and it's a cotton linen blend. The collar is a bit bigger than most button-downs, and I just really like the fabric and the fit of this, but I don't really care for blue. And I also don't really have blue items in my wardrobe besides of 2 other blue items, and one of them I am going to dye as well. So if this doesn't come out really beautiful, it will improve my color scheme in my wardrobe, so I can have this as a pajama top, but it matches all of the other pieces that I have. And I am aware that my need for color coordination is much higher than average, but that's just how it is, and that's what makes me happy. So the next item that I'm attempting to dye are my Levi's dungaree pants. This is a bit of a tricky one because I know these are really beautiful, but I stained something while wearing them and I got brown stain on them, and I tried a lot of different things to get them out and it didn't work. So now I think, why not just try to dye them brown? Yeah. And then finally I have this Nike hoodie that was used as packaging for an amp that I bought secondhand online. This is the result of the dyeing, and I honestly am pretty pleased with it. I think the color turned out well. It is just a brown. Some of the darker blue turned out like a bit of a dark gray. It fits my wardrobe way better like this, and also you can't really see the stains anymore. For the other two items, this is how the hoodie turned out, which is also really good. I actually don't mind the white seams. I thought it would look much worse, but it gives it kind of a vintagey, sporty look. The dye is really even, and I think this is going to be a great sweater to just wear while working in the garden or walking through the woods, or some other activities that will result in some dirt. This is the one that is a bit questionable. It didn't really take on the dye as well. I will just continue wearing this as a pajama shirt and it still looks nice enough for that purpose. So yeah, I got myself the little Kodak charmer for Christmas, and it was only available as a pre-order back then because it is sold out everywhere, but it finally arrived. You get them as a blind box and you don't know which version you'll get, and there are 6 regular versions and 1 special edition, and the 6 regular versions, they are in this vintage colorful 80s style, and they are really cool, but I wasn't really sure about the colors. And the special edition is this half see-through case that is more of a tech style, and the chances to get this special edition are 1 to 48, and look what I got. I got the special edition. This made me really happy because I really wanted this, and the chances were so low to get it, and I actually got it, which is really lovely, and it is so fun. Of course, the pictures, they don't have the highest quality, but that's not why you get this camera. So this is what it looks like. It's just so cute. I am a materialist at heart, and things like this make me really happy. I also already started knitting a tiny pouch for it because I feel like if I just throw it in a bag, it will get damaged at some point. So it needs a little pouch. And this is just some random sock yarn that I bought in a secondhand store.